They told me it couldn't be done, that I was a lost cause. Kids were afraid to play with me.
4 years.
I was picked on and picked last. Coaches didn't know how to talk to me. They gave up on me. Told me I should just quit. But I've been deaf since I was 3.
Underway in Pasadena.
So I didn't listen.
Don't move until I move. Don't move until I move.
53rd pick, and the last pick is...
They didn't call my name. Told me it was over. But I showed them it wasn't.
It's Derrick Coleman.
And now I'm here with a lot of fans in the NFL cheering me on. And I can hear them all.
I wanted to start this video with that amazing commercial because it really gives you a feel for who Derrick Coleman is. So thank you Duracell, even though they're not a sponsor, for providing us with that commercial. Anyway, when Coleman entered the NFL, he quickly became an inspiration to not only millions of football fans, but also to society as a whole. We'll dive into how he provided the deaf community, and really anyone with a disability, or even anyone who's had setbacks in life, with a model on what people can achieve despite any possible shortcomings. After being declared legally deaf at the age of 3, Coleman doesn't actually even remember ever being able to hear. According to CNN, his parents both have normal hearing, but they're missing a hearing gene. Even if his future had an NFL career, the teasing when he was younger never seemed to stop.
You know how they say with people with glasses, they call them 4-eye, they'll call me 4-ear.
His mom had to knock on doors and beg for the bullying to end. He was never placed in any special school, he just received speech therapy and learned to read lips. His parents never actually used sign language with him either. In middle school he played football for the first time. An MRI showed his ear structure could survive the hits, but he would get too much feedback in his hearing aids. So his mom came up with a solution.
So I took a pair of pantyhose and I cut them. We stuck the hearing aids in there and it fit, and the feedback wasn't there.
That struck a turning point in Derrick's life. Football gave him purpose and a sense of understanding in living. It didn't take long for him to make an impact. In his freshman year at Troy High School in Fullerton, California, he was already on the varsity team. And in the next 3 years, he started at running back. He went on to break the school record for most touchdowns and points scored in a season, as well as numerous school rushing records. He was a league MVP, and as a 3-star recruit, he got offers from nearby LA schools UCLA and USC. In 2007, he committed to the Bruins. There he got some reps right away as he was second on the team in rushing yards his freshman year. That was pretty much how his college career went. You could say he was never a star back, but he was always very efficient. Some games he would pop off for over 100 yards, and he could contribute on special teams as well. In fact, he was consistently one of UCLA's best special teams players. Maybe what was most important in Coleman's college career was proving he could play at an FBS level with his disability. Here's what he told ESPN. People say, so how do you hear the snap count? I move when the ball moves. So as soon as we break the huddle and let's say we've got a protection going on, I'm looking. So by the time I'm in my stance, I already know where everybody is. I already know what I've got to do, and I'm looking at the ball. When the ball is snapped, I'm able to go and I adjust. On draft night, Coleman was on the verge of making history. He waited and waited, except his name was never called. But if you think a simple ceremonial calling of the name was going to stop this deaf kid from California from achieving his NFL dreams, then you don't know Derrick Coleman.
My dad taught me a lot growing up. Basically told me don't squander any opportunities. You only get so many in this life, and don't get ready, be ready.
Derrick Coleman never heard his name on draft night. He never heard his name picked on the playground, and quite literally, he never heard at all. But that was never gonna stop him. The Raiders were interested in signing Coleman, but he ended up going to the Vikings in the spring of 2012. Though just months later, Coleman was part of the team's final cuts. Later that season, the Seahawks signed him to come in as a fullback and special teamer. He didn't end up appearing in any games, but in 2013 he survived the final round of cuts and made his debut week 1.
This is a rare opportunity. There's only 53 guys on 32 teams, that are able to play.
In the huddle, he tries to position himself so he has a clear view of the quarterback's lips. Teammates and coaches say he's quick to pick up things, so even when the play is changed at the line of scrimmage, a lot of times he could just tell what was going to be next by looking at what was going on around him. He told ESPN, "I have to pay attention like 5 times more than everybody else does. When the quarterback says the play, I'm focused. I'll do whatever I gotta do to do my job, because if I don't hear him, we're all in trouble." Funny enough, an extremely loud stadium, so loud to the point where even normal ears can't hear in the huddle, some of Coleman's teammates will ask him what the quarterback said, because at least he can read the lips. Lucky for him, Russell Wilson always removes his mouthpiece when he calls a play, so that certainly makes it easier to understand. And in the NFL, he wasn't wearing pantyhose on his head anymore. He instead went with the cave cap, which by online definition is usually made of material similar to women's pantyhose. That season he appeared in 12 games for the Seahawks. Then in the playoffs, Coleman's journey became even more improbable as he went from an undrafted rookie struggling to find a team to a Super Bowl champion after the Seahawks blew out the Broncos in Super Bowl 48. Just like he had done at UCLA, Coleman made his difference on special teams. And after winning the Super Bowl, he came out with a book titled "No Excuses: Growing Up Deaf and Achieving My Super Bowl Dream." After the Duracell commercial aired around that time, Coleman had become an icon for the deaf community. He said, "That commercial basically let me know that I'm not alone. Everybody has problems, but yet we still do what we love to do." And I was just like, I need to take this to another level. One letter from a little girl went viral after she wrote to Coleman before the Super Bowl. She wore hearing aids and also loved sports and wanted him to know that she had faith in him. Coleman, of course, wrote back to her. He ended up staying with the Seahawks through 2015. Then, after regrettably committing a hit and run, he was temporarily suspended, which caused no team to sign him the next year. In 2017, the Falcons signed him with the Dan Quinn Seahawks connection. He played all 16 games that year, then went to the Cardinals, where he once again played all 16 games.
Sounds like he loves bird teams.
Coleman was now a veteran in the NFL and knew just how to deal with any haters. He told AZ Central, "I'm never turning off my hearing aids. The only time I turn off my hearing aids is when you start talking crap on me, and I'm like, wait, what, huh? And then I turn them off." After playing every game back-to-back years, no team signed Coleman for the 2019 season, although he did work out for 5 different teams. But now it appears Coleman is ready to move on to the next stage of his life. He is determined to help kids who are hard of hearing and not doing well or feeling out of place or bullied. He told the Chattanooga Times Free Press, "Traveling and talking to the hard of hearing / deaf communities and their friends and family is what I've fallen in love with. Letting them know they are not alone and showing them you don't have to be someone special to do great things." Before we wrap things up, I gotta say while making this video, I started getting ads for hearing aids. Anyway, I just wanted to share this inspiring story of a man who beat the odds and wouldn't listen to the doubters.
Somebody say I can't do something that's definitely achievable, that's like I probably just gotta work on it, I'm gonna try. And if I really can't do it, then at least I know I tried.